Okay, so the next stage. One thing that I do recommend you do all the time is save. Make sure you're saving your work. I haven't saved it yet, so I'm just going to run through, go into the folder, and I'm just going to name it and press enter. So I've saved it. It's really important because if it crashes, you don't want to lose everything. You don't want to be in tears if you've worked on a model for hours on end and then you've realized you haven't saved it and then it crashes. Anyway, so I'm going to bring back my edges. In fact, you don't need your edges in your perspective view. That one you can just use to kind of have a look. You just want to kind of make sure you have the edges on your side and front view. So I'm going to go back to Edit Poly and go to my edge tool again. And I'm going to continue down. I'm going to continue going down on this front kind of cheek area. So in fact, do you know what? I'm going to go sideways this time. I'm just going to select these two, in fact these three, and I'm going to go across slightly. You don't want to go too far because again there's a kind of a sharp change of angle, and you can tell that by the shadow just there. So you just want to pull that up slightly like that. And again, like I said, you can use that top view just to help you get the right kind of angle. And then again, look in your perspective view to see that you are changing the angle steeply enough. And then again, you want to press shift and drag. And at this stage, it's really important that you kind of start to flatten these angles out, because her nose, her bridge of the nose is quite a straight kind of angle at this stage. It's not got that point to it. So you want to just slowly start to gradually bring it into a flat angle. If you find that the symmetry is not lining up very well, then you can kind of go back to it and just drag it across a little bit. But again, you don't want to worry too much about the symmetry because you can edit that at any stage anyway. And you can see at the top here, I'm just going to pull this forward as well. So again, just changing the angle because the gap here becomes bigger, and this is where we're going to kind of lead onto the eyebrow area and move on to the side of the head as well. So that's essentially how we're working, and this is how we're going to be doing it. Just pull that out a little bit, like so. And again, just ensure you're pulling this out far enough. If we're kind of approaching the front of the bridge of the nose, don't forget to kind of change the angle in this side view as well. Yeah. So we're just going to go there. We're going to just straighten that out a little bit more. And you can see in our perspective view how we're creating that area. It does look a little odd right now, so don't worry. If you find that a bridge of the nose is just way too large, we can edit it quite easily as well. So it is a bit of a trial and error stage at this stage. In fact, straight away I think it's looking a little chunky at the minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this middle edge that I've created. I'm going to pull that back because I don't think that I need to kind of bring that forward so much. Pull that back a little bit too, and then just shift and drag that across, and again just flatten this flatten this out. I know it looks like we've got a lot of polys in here, but when you look from the side view, there's it's a decent spread, so don't worry too much at this stage. Don't worry, everything's okay. Okay, so I think that's looking okay. I mean, we just need to then pull this edge up quite far, and you want to kind of make it match the shape of the nose a little bit. And now for the final kind of bit, I guess, is just to pull this across, and you want to make sure that this edge is perfectly straight down the middle. I mean, you can just drag it across and overlap them, but I tend to strive for perfection, I guess. So you want to go on the scale tool, and this is a really quick way of flattening out an edge or a number of edges together. So if you have these 3 edges selected, if you kind of scale across and just keep going until it won't scale anymore, then you see how they end up being completely flat. And then you want to overlap them very slightly, like so. And then just curve it off a little bit, because of course the front of a nose is going to be curved, like so. And again, let's apply a smoothing group to that area. So if I just select kind of all of this, you can hold control just to add to the selection. And this is going to be smoothing group 1 because I want this to be, you know, the same part of the, and you can see how that's working at the minute. Yeah. I'm going to leave the thickness as it is at the minute. I'm not too sure if it's looking too thick or too thin, so I'm not going to worry too much at the moment about that. And of course I'm just going to hit my save icon. From now I can really start to move down towards the nose. I mean, I could either do this area or I can go up to do the eyebrows kind of area. I will have to end this tutorial now, but follow on to the next part, and I will continue with this model further.